Let's talk about cheese. When it comes to building credit, people talk about cheese here, cheese there. The question is it really worth it? Is the platform really safe and legit? Let's have a conversation about that. So here is the decision time I really want you to think about. So when you think about cheese, I want you to think about a platform, an app that helps you actually build credit. And so it has a constellation of tools and processes that help you actually, build credit over time. So Cheese Credit Builder is a loan to help you build your credit. So you can get the principal of your loan returned to you at the end of the loan term minus interest. So your future payments will be auto paid through your connected bank account. So you don't need to worry about forgetting the payment. So the whole thing here is that the foundation of your cheese relationship goes through a bank account. So if you don't have a bank account, you're not going to qualify for the cheese credit builder loan. Okay, everything starts with a bank account. And in terms of monthly fees, there are no monthly fees. The interest rate on the credit builder loan 5% to 16%. And they have mobile apps on iOS and Android, not a problem. So Cheese, when you close your eyes, if anybody asks you, what is Cheese? Cheese is a credit builder company designed to help those with no or poor credit history establish or reestablish credit. The way they do that is through giving you a credit builder loan. I will explain a little later what the credit builder loan does, but first I want to tell you, welcome back to the show. I really appreciate having you here. And when we talk about cheese, we are talking about, let's quickly talk about the pros and cons so you have a clear idea what we are speaking about. So pros, this is a credit builder loan. So this is their main product. This is a completely free of fees. There are no fees. And Cheese is an FDIC insured company. And to apply, there are no credit checks that can temporarily hurt your credit. So if your credit score is around 350 or 400, it's not going to go down by going through Cheese because they don't check credit. What are the cons? Even though there are no fees, you pay interest on or an APR that ranges from 5% to 16%. And there are no other products to build credit other than the credit builder loan. So with Cheese, you only have one product and that's it. So if you don't really need a credit builder loan, there is no need to actually partner with Cheese. Now let me give you an overview here because I really want to go granular so everybody is on the same page when it comes to a credit builder loan. I mean the one that Cheese offers. It's really important that you have a clear understanding of what that loan and how it works, or what that loan is and how it works. So a credit builder loan is a fixed loan in which you make monthly payments. So even though it's called a loan, you will not be able to get your hands on the cash until later. So think of it as the reverse of a traditional loan. So credit builder loans are specifically designed to help those with poor credit or thin credit. So you get a loan, but it's put into a savings account for you. Some companies offer CDs or certificate of deposits as well. So you make monthly payments and then you get the money back at the end of the loan term. So the term is how long you choose to pay off the loan. For example, this can be 12 or 24 months. Okay, so this is the kind of similar process that Cheese actually follows. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about the Cheese, and I'm giving you an in-depth review of the product of the credit builder loan that Cheese has. Is it worth it? Is it legit? Is it a scam? Whatever it is, I'll explain everything to you. So what happens here is that during the time when you have, like, let's say the 12 or 24 months where you choose to repay the loan, right? During that time, the credit builder loan, in this case Cheese, will report your on-time payments to all three credit bureaus, and you get to improve your credit score. Now keep in mind that you have to pay interest each month though, and this figure depends on where you live. So at the end of the term, you get the monthly payments you made, aka your money, minus the interest you paid. So this is as simple as that. Now depending where you live, you're going to have to pay an APR that goes from 5% to 16%. Because remember that when we talk about banking and lending in this country, things are regulated at the state level. Okay, so every state will set their banking regulations. Of course, there are federal regulations, but when it comes to credit builder loans, those are actually regulated at the state level. So depending on where you live, you might actually have to pay a lower or higher amount. And also, it depends also on your cash inflows and cash outflows, because even though Cheese does not check your credit history. They will see, like, they will basically connect your bank account to their bank account to see what kind of inflows and outflows you have. Let me give you the approach that we have here, what we have seen with Cheese. How does the credit builder from Cheese, how does the credit builder loan really works? So how does it work? So Cheese will offer a credit builder loan, right? Which is exactly, I think it's not exactly like a traditional loan, right? Which is when you apply at a bank and borrow money and pay interest when you make payments. So the thing here is that Cheese says that the credit profile loan helps diversify your credit profile. So according to the sites, having a mix of credit products brings on 10% of your credit score. So the companies also say that your trade line, which is another name of the credit builder loan, stays active on your credit profile for a decade. So 10 years, you will benefit from your Cheese credit builder loan. So with a credit builder loan, the money you borrow is not available to you right away. I think I've already said that. It's held in a savings account for a set amount of time, referred to as a loan term. So when it comes to Cheese, that's how they do it. They actually set a savings. It can be a CD, it can be a special savings account. Then you choose how much you want to repay. For example, the money is tight. You can choose a repayment plan that starts as low as $24 a month. So this is really, really good for you because this can give you a room to breathe in your budget. So you can actually get back on track when you are like, you really take things slowly to actually get back on track. What we love about Cheese is that they are reporting your activity, your payments to all three credit bureaus. So just like you would with the traditional loan, you make on-time payments and Cheese will report these activities to all three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So making payments on time accounts for 35% of your credit score. You also have automatic payments. So conversely, missed payments and late payments will also be reported, which can negatively affect your credit score and basically defeats the whole purpose of using Cheese. Cheese ensures that you will not miss a payment by allowing you to sign up for automatic payments. And you are able to actually build credit and simultaneously save, right? Because when you think about it, when the term is over, you get the money in a lump sum minus the interest you paid in the first place. With Cheese Credit Builder, you can build credit and save money at the same time. There are no credit checks, administration fees, or subscription fees to pay. You can also cancel at any time without penalties, not a problem. Let me have the review here. I want to have an in-depth review of Cheese features that you will love. So when we talk about here, the loan amounts, we are speaking about $500 to $2,000. The APR here goes from 5% to 16%. And in terms of the minimum payment due each month, $24. Now, it really depends, like all those numbers I'm giving you, everything depends on the states where you're in, okay? It really depends on that. Now, there are no administration fees at all. There is no credit check required. And so in terms of availability, Cheese is available in all 50 states except a few of them. So they're not available in Alabama. So as of the date of this show, Cheese is not available yet in Alabama, Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada, Vermont, Washington State, and Wisconsin. So again, I want to repeat, Cheese is not available yet in Alabama, Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada, Vermont, Washington State, and Wisconsin. And in terms of minimum income requirements, there are no minimum requirements. They're not asking you to actually make a certain amount of money, not at all. And so they report to all three credit bureaus. So you bet that your activities, your good behavior, your good credit behavior will be reported to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. This is really reassuring. We love that a lot. And in terms of if you ever want to reach Cheese through email, their email is support@earncheese.com. Support@earncheese.com. We'll put this on the screen. And so their address, they are at 130 West Union Street, Pasadena, California, 91103. And so if you want to get more information about the company, just give them a call. So 1-844-525-6247. 1-844-525-6247. 525 6247. And so this is kind of important. And one thing I want to say here is that overall, Cheese is pretty responsive when it comes to emails, when it comes to phone calls. They're pretty responsive. They'll work with you. Okay, work with you as soon as they actually issue you the loan. They'll work with you. If you have any problem, you can contact them. If you have any question, they will assign to you let's just call it like a loan rep, or so to speak. I mean, Cheese does not have a series of physical branches that you for you to visit. No, everything happens online. Okay, this is a fintech. So Cheese is a fintech. They're not a bank. So they're not. So they work through. They work through a series of partners bank to actually offer the credit builder loan. And one thing I want to say also is that it's just better if you have any question to email them. They're faster with emails than when it comes to phone calls. Phone calls, you might be on the line for a while, but if you send them an email, they'll take care of you right away, not a problem. Let's talk about the pricing. So everybody talks about, you can see that cheese is a little better than grain, for example, that we reviewed grain not long ago, and grain is the more expensive than cheese. Okay, and with cheese, well, if you ask the question, if somebody asks you how much does cheese cost, well, there are no fees to pay other than the interest. Okay, this is really important to remember that. And but one thing I want to say here is that when we talk about the interest, we're speaking about interest rates that goes from 5% to 16%. Okay, 5% to 16%. Now, maybe this is good for you. This is not good for you. But again, it is cheaper than other the alternatives we have reviewed on this show. And one thing I want to say here is that the interest rate is determined by where you live, but they will likely take your existing credit into account, as the rate fluctuates pretty widely, 5 to 16%. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's conversation. We are having a convo about cheese. We are doing an in-depth cheese review. I'm going granular here to give you all the tips, tricks, and hacks that you need to have in mind before you actually sign up for cheese. Now, one thing I want to say here is that we have seen that if you are in New York, for example, they will charge you around 13%. If you are in California, 12%. That's the average. If you are in Georgia, they will charge you like 14%. If you are in Illinois, Chicago, they will charge you 10%. So it really fluctuates, okay? And so besides the interest, there are no other fees or costs to worry about. They don't even charge you a fee for late payments. They do this because they want credit builder loans to be accessible and affordable to anyone who needs to build credit. So in our view, based on our analysis, Cheese is a lot better than other providers out there, okay? And one thing I want to say here is that it's all about the kind of mindset you have and the kind of time frame you have. The question to you is that how long do you over how many months do you want to build credit, or what's the I would say what's the horizon, the time frame that you have given yourself in terms of reaching your goals, because this will really help you a lot to stay focused. It will help you stay focused. And one thing I want to say also is that we know people who actually have done rinse and repeat when it comes to with the cheese credit builder loan. In other words, they have multiple loans going at once, and then they were, because see, this will help you actually increase your credit score faster. So Cheese has no problem for you to apply for 2 or 3 or 4 credit builder loans. They have no problem with that, and just make sure that you double check with them first to make sure it's available in your state. Let's talk about how Cheese compares, right? Because it's important to have a clear idea about that. So if you're curious about the credit builder loans from other companies, there are tons, okay? They all offer similar services and products, but some, like Ava, charges a subscription fee of $9 or $6 a month if you sign up for their yearly plan and pay in a lump sum, okay? And Ava has a credit builder card that you can sign up for and use to cover the cost of streaming services such as Netflix or Spotify. You can do this directly from the app or website. The idea is we all pay for streaming services, so we might as well build credit each month by paying for it with their card. And Avid reports to all 3 credit bureaus, so if you're not keen on paying interest with Cheese Ava may be an option for you. There's also Self, which also has a Self Visa card and a Self Credit Builder account. So Self is similar to Cheese, but puts your money into an interest bearing CD. So when you sign up, Self will open a CD in your name, and you can pick up one from 520, 1663 for 12 or 24 months. You pay level payments of $25 or $150 to the bank. So it goes from $25 to $150. Just like Cheese, you can build credit and save at the same time. So once you have made at least, let's say you have made at least 3 on-time payments, monthly payments that is, and you are able to have at least $100 in savings, you can apply for the Self Visa Secure Credit Card. And the card comes with 2 major benefits: no credit check, and you can add a credit card to your credit mix, which provides variety and can improve your score even further. So this is kind of important to really think about. So the thing here is that the point I'm trying to make here is that when you think about credit builder products, credit builder loans, credit builder cards, if you want to call them that way, you have a constellation of services. And Cheese, in our view, is one of the best on the market. But if you don't like for any reason, where you don't like, I don't feel comfortable with Cheese because blah 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 blah, then you can actually go with either Ava or you can go with Self. The bottom line here is that it all boils down to how you want to manage your credit, how you want to manage your finances, so that you can actually increase your credit score real fast. Okay, this is important. This should be your main goal anyway. Okay, should be your main goal anyway. Let me talk to you about the extras you really want to pay attention to. So how do you sign up for Cheese? So Cheese has both an iOS and Android app that you can use on your phone. You sign up on your phone with your personal information, and this is very straightforward though. You include things like your name, address, and social security number. Sometimes they will ask you for extra information. Sometimes they'll ask you to provide a copy of your ID, depending on the state you're applying from. But overall, it's not really complicated. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? And it will also ask you for an email and a valid bank account in your name. So you must have a valid bank account to sign up for Cheese. So if you don't have a bank account right now, just stop and go open a bank account before you use Cheese as a service. And so it's important to understand that. And you don't have to even go to a brick and mortar traditional bank account. You can actually sign up with a bank, with an online bank. Not a problem. I mean, your account, they open your account right away, and your account is operational like after 1 minute or 2 minutes. And so keep in mind that Cheese is only available in 43 states. So here are the states. I think I spoke to you about them before. There are 7 states where Cheese is not available. So Alabama, Indiana, Kentucky, Nevada, Vermont, Washington State, and Wisconsin. So once you actually do everything right, you are instantly approved. After that, you can set up your terms and how much you want to pay each month. So, okay. And if you want to reach, let's say you want to reach Cheese, you actually, Cheese has a few ways to reach them, but not include a phone number. So you can email their customer service team at support@earncheese.com. And you can also reach them through their website. They have a Zendesk option to ask questions directly. You can also read over their FAQ, okay? And their bank services are provided through the banking software provider, Synapse. And if you have something bank or credit related, you can call 1-844-525-6247, or you can just email loans@synapsefi.com. So you've heard everything. So here is a verdict that you were really expected. So the question is cheese safe to use? Yes, Cheese is safe to use on your mobile phone, and they actually make sure every transaction is encrypted. In terms of your money, Cheese is an FDIC insured product, which means what? Up to $250,000 of your funds are protected. And Cheese is FDIC insured with Lineage Bank. And is Cheese worth it? Well, Cheese, in our view, and this is for only intents and purposes, is straightforward and doesn't come with any fees besides interest. They also report to all three bureaus, which ensure that you can build credit after making your monthly payments. Using Cheese may also be worth it if you have had trouble saving money in the past because you make monthly payments and get to keep that lump sum at the end of the term. You can then use it to pay down high interest credit card or throw it into your emergency fund. Just keep in mind that most credit building companies charge a fee though, in one way or another, in the form of interest like Cheese or in a monthly subscription like Ava. And if building credit quickly is important to you, these fees will be money well spent. And you got to spend money at some point, right? It's all about value added. Are they adding value to your life? If yes, then it's not really a problem for you to pay the cash, okay? And how important is credit to you? Because that's the bottom line. Ask yourself this question before you start paying for a service like Cheese. If you have a lot of time to rebuild your credit before buying a house or car, for example, you can do it yourself by applying for a secured card like Grow Credit or Extra. And because a secured card requires you to pay a deposit with your own money upfront, and then you can use the card to make purchases. So when you make regular payments, your score will improve. Keep in mind that there are also fees to use the card and interest rate as well. Okay, so the bottom line is really it's all about time and money. How much of both do you want to spend on strengthening your credit? If it is a priority, Cheese is absolutely worth it. If you would rather not pay interest, you could actually opt for a subscription based service like Ava. At the end of the day, everybody has a different situation, and depending on the state where you are hailing from, you might think that one product is better than another in terms of overall, I would say overall efficiency, but also rates, individual rates, and fees, for example. So, bottom line, you have to decide this on a case by case basis. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just quickly talking to you about Cheese, and we were reviewing this credit builder loan, this credit builder products, and I give you the decision time, the overview, the approach, the review, the pricing, the rivals, the extra, and the verdict. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.